We're about to ride 185 miles across the Outer Hebrides, wind-swept roads, ferry hops, wild camping, and a healthy disregard for the weather forecast, which, as it turned out, was unusually dry and sunny. But before we go, here's how it became possible. Most people start a bikepacking trip by packing bags and checking weather forecasts. We started ours with a lot of tea, hours of gossiping, and two very patient bike builders in Richmond. Before we ever saw a sheep on a single-track road, we watched Steve and Scott at Caygill Cycles turn a vague idea into two very real and very beautiful bikes. This is the part of the adventure most people never see, but we think it's where the real journey begins, with tools, with grease, and with a bit of northern magic.
Well, to start off with, I think I'm very glad we're better at making frames here than using your camera, because it's taken us a little bit to sort, but I think we're there now, so yeah, watch this space. Cheers.
This is the bike fit. Scott's trying to make sure we don't get off the bike after day one walking like cowboys. Scott fine-tunes every detail, position, posture, precision.
Just like that, yeah. Just put both feet on the pedals for you, Sue. Just on the reverse side of that one if you would.
I'm terrible for that.
That's okay.
Really stiff shoulders.
Yeah, it's okay. Centre of the axle there, just with your heel, lady.
Meanwhile, Steve's building the bikes. Not from a box, but from actual steel, with actual tools, like some sort of wizard with a torque wrench.
When I put the down tube in, because of this angle, which is quite steep, that lug didn't quite like it. So
I don't think that designing a bike for someone fun-sized is in the manual, but Steve made it happen. Massive thanks to him for the heroic task of building a frame small enough to fit me and still leave room for panniers. He's now officially qualified in advanced small bike geometry with bonus pannier clearance. Rumour has it that Arther Caygill himself stepped in from time to time with some expert advice.
through, it'll come into there, come out there, and come along there.
Onto Dave's frame. Here it is in the jig. Been brazed, main triangle, 73 degrees at the seat, and then top tube and seat tube 55 centimetres. You can see it's slightly sloping, you can see the horizontal there and the backdrop part of the jig, and it's going upwards just to give a slightly higher front, make it a bit more comfortable. Arguably. Obviously it's not Sue's, seems a bit of a monster in the jig comparatively speaking.
Some people get model names. I get custom geometry and a public diagnosis.
What we'll do now is take all the excess brass off, which will just bead blast away, and then we'll look at it a little bit further, put the chain stays in the correct length and height, and go from there. So back to the frame, not completely bead blasted as yet, but you can see where we're going. You can see that we've bead blasted these areas where there was a build-up of excess flux and brass, which is an occurrence when you're doing the frame. You can see we've done it here as well. Not quite finished off, but there's the head tube, and a little bit of a snippet that you don't often see. Look very closely there. You can see where it gives a coding, and that's the Reynolds etching to give the tube coding, so it can be identified of what its nature is, what it's made out of, and its internal diameters and so on. So there we are. The 78 on there is the seat lug angle. Your seat angle isn't that, it's 73, but we've already predetermined the length of the top tube, therefore we put that into place, and whatever we do with that tube, it sits between two tubes, that one and that one, so the distance is always the same, doesn't matter what angle we put that top tube at. One frame completed today. What have we done since we last looked at it? Evidently we can see that we've removed all the brazing surplus, cleaning up all the lugs. We've also added the bottle bosses underneath there as well, and put on all the bosses which are going to allow us to fit correctly on the brakes. So you've had your rear triangle fitted, which includes disc brake dropouts, mudguard eyelets, rack eyelets, and then we're going internal routing for the rear brake. So there it is, frame finished. Hope you can see all the detail. It's come nicely actually. So what will happen now is put some screws in all these little holes, kick the paint out. We'll put some primer on it today, then it'll go for sanding thereafter. But ultimately, frame finish day. Nice one.
So the upshot of it is with this one, inevitably the things that we've had to consider are where the bottom cages go. If, for example, you put it too low and it conflicts with the front neck, well, you don't want that. So you have to, but indeed if it's too far up, how do you get your bottle out? You can get a side loading one, but you know, there it is. So that was a little tweaks that I've had to sort of think of.
Are you going to give it a ride outside, or? That's nice, isn't it? Just taking a quick peek at the finished bike. Logos on, paints dry. A work of art. And like any great art, it should be admired by me a lot. So that's it. Huge thanks to all at Caygills, and spoiler alert, the bikes performed magnificently on our next journey. I hope you enjoyed this slightly different video, behind the grease, the gossip and the custom frames, and I hope even more that you'll join us for that ride across the Hebrides. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment if you've ever had a bike built for you or want one, and we'll see you in the next one, on the road this time. Cheerio! The Hebridean Way, coming soon. Hopefully with all the bolts still in place.